All right, folks, what is up? This is One Big Bugga, and I am coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. Few things to go over before we get started. One, no video yesterday because I got to it really late, and when I fired up Euro Truck, I found out that, of course, the new patch had come out 1.20. Great. Poland rebuilding was no longer compatible. I went and looked. There was a new Poland rebuilding. Okay, great. I look at the Poland rebuilding as I'm downloading it, and then apparently there was a new Pro mods as well. So I had to download that. By the time I downloaded everything, I was just too tired. I waited too long, and it was honestly my own fault. I got really involved in what I was doing. So that's why there was no video yesterday. I had to update everything. Number two, Truck Sim Map. I know I said I'd go and download it, and I actually went to, but come to find out, they have not updated yet. They have not updated their map pack since 1.17. Not sure what's going on, if it's the rapid fire updates that are coming that are making it difficult for them, or if they've just given up on it, or if they're trying something new. Nobody's saying anything, nobody's doing anything. So their map pack is still for 1.17, and even though you can use it, there's a lot of bugs in it now. So I didn't download it, and I'm not going to unless they update it to match the current model. Uh, Let me see. There was one more. Oh yeah, number three. Because I had to change Poland rebuilding and because I had to change Pro mods, the delivery that we were on has been canceled and I've been moved to my home garage. So we're starting out with a new delivery today to wherever that may take us. Finally, I'm in an okay mood today, but just a little while ago I was really depressed and sad, and I don't know what came over me. Um, and that I'll explain while we're going. Why don't we get started? Uh, let's see. Our stamina is fine. Okay, stop. So let's just find us um, a new trailer. Yeah, a 22-ton hopper looks pretty good. Looks mighty tasty. The Scania trucks, actually. I think there's. I'm not doing the 70-ton dozer. You know what? I'm gonna take this one. The hopper's really nice, but I think there may be an achievement for delivering Scania trucks. I don't know. I gotta go and like relook. But I have yet, since getting Jazzy Cat's mods, I have yet to deliver a truck trailer, and I would really like to. So I have not turned it. I have not turned it on. I have not turned on painted trucks in traffic yet. I might try it again to see if, since Poland Rebuilding has updated, if it'll take care of the trailer problem. And of course, both trailers would be at the same place. I'm just curious. Yeah, that would have been okay too, but we might be able to do this one in one video. So another reason to do it. So I was just looking in the free section. I'm trying, well, I wouldn't say desperately, but I've been trying fairly hard to get a lawnmower. You know, somebody to just give my family a lawnmower because we really need one. I cannot keep up with the yard on my own, and I'm not getting much help from my sister-in-law. So I'm desperately hoping somebody will give us, you know, a half decent lawnmower. So I've been watching the free section, and I've been posting up in the wanted, you know, I need a lawnmower. And the fun part is I say in my ad, I can't pay for a lawnmower. I'm looking for somebody would be generous if they have one laying around. And what I get is, oh, I have one for $50. It's like, what part of cannot pay did you not get? You know? Anyways, I'm looking in the free section and I see something, and it's not a good thing for me. I see a little brown and white Chihuahua. Apparently, my mother's love of Chihuahuas has rubbed off on me harder than I thought. Because I'm looking at this little Chihuahua, and I read, they only put in one line of information. Male Chihuahua, abandoned by his owner. That's all I needed to read. Apparently, the story behind it is that the owner just up and left. You know, he had the dog with him, he was living with roommates, and then one day he just moved out, didn't take his dog with him, left the dog behind. Didn't say anything. And now the roommates are trying to find him a home. They don't know how old he is, they just know he's a male Chihuahua, and the pictures they took of him are what really broke my heart. Because you could tell by his body positioning, yeah, straight. You could tell by his body positioning, his body language. You could tell just by, you know, looking at his eyes, the position of his head. And in one part, you could tell he's wagging his tail. But you've ever seen a dog that's been scolded or something like that? They hunker down, that little tail wag they give you. Yeah, it was that kind of tail wag. That confused, nervous, don't know what's going on, you know, worried I did something bad tail wag. And I knew that he was upset. He was scared, confused. His owner's gone, hasn't come back. And in seeing those pictures and in reading that text, I very damn near just got into my car and went and got him. But the reality is I could afford to take care of him. I could do it. I know I could. It's a Chihuahua. It's not that bad. I don't want puppies, which is why I got my other two dogs fixed. You know, my Bella and Koa here, which they're actually still recovering from. Oh, I thought he was in my lane. And I can go over that more in a little bit. But another adult dog? Yeah, no problem. I could handle that, especially a very small one. And it was everything I could do to not go. And even then, I still kind of floated the idea past my mother-in-law, but she was like, no, it's not a good idea. She's right, honestly. The truth is, if this was my home, if this was my place, I'd go and get him. No questions asked. I'd go and get him. But this is not my home. And the reality is I also got to look to the future. If I fly back to Massachusetts or I go to Florida with my father, well, what happens? I have to take my dogs with me. I'm not leaving them behind. I'm not going to abandon them. I'm already kind of stressed out, and it's a long time from now when I go home. If I go home. I'm already stressed out about taking two dogs. How am am I going to do 3? You know, and I got to think of things like that. So going to get him was not a good idea. But that didn't mean freaking steering. Oops, sorry. Just trying to loosen up my steering. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It was real hard. And I went and I got in the shower after that, and for whatever reason, I just started crying. And I mean really hard. It was very difficult for me to, you know, to cry silently or quietly so that my mother-in-law didn't hear. I just started crying. I started bawling because this little guy was abandoned and left alone. And he needed to be rescued. And I started wondering why I was so upset. And, well, then it kind of hit me that I think it's quite possible for me that I kind of liken what happened to that little Chihuahua. I kind of liken what happened to that little Chihuahua as what happened to me. I woke up one day, my wife was gone. And this little Chihuahua wakes up, or, you know, his owner leaves one day and he gets up the next day and his owner's not back. He gets up the next day and his owner's not back. You know what I'm saying? You hear where this is going? So I kind of feel like maybe one of the reasons I'm so upset and want to go rescue him is because I'm kind of like transferring my own feelings, if you will, onto that little dog's situation. Now, knowing that or thinking that, feeling that, does not make it any easier. It really doesn't. I still want to go and get him. I won't. I don't want to eat McDonald's today, but I'm probably going to go and get it because it's late. I haven't cooked. I know I'm hungry. Even though I don't quite feel it, I gotta have something to eat. And I don't want to cook this late at night. So I'm probably going to end up going and getting something to eat. And the reason I don't want to is, again, I'm spending money that I really shouldn't, but kind of the pickle I put myself in. I want to go and get him. And I almost went without asking or saying anything because, you know, the old saying is, even if they're upset, he's already here. What are they going to do? Worse, they'll make me find him another home, which I would be content with. Me finding him a home, rather than a couple of roommates suddenly tasked with it. But, you know, I was going on that whole feeling of, you know, it's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. But I just let it, you know, I gotta let it go. I have 2 dogs. And I've got to think of the future if I fly home. Wherever I fly. So that's what happened recently, and that's why I'm a little depressed right now. Not nearly as bad as I was a little while ago, but I'm a little depressed. So other than that, My dogs have been fixed. They went for the surgery on Saturday, and it was tough. I actually got worried. Because they say, they said, well, to me at first it was like, oh, we'll call you around 12:30. You come and get your dogs. But after I dropped them off, they told me between 12:30 and 5, for the dogs to recover. How they do in recovery, you can send them home. So it was difficult for me to be downtown. Wow, dude, really? Thanks. It was difficult for me to be downtown waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for my dogs to recover, and I get the phone call to come and get them. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. It was difficult for me to wait. It wasn't until 3:30, and I dropped them off about 10 o'clock, 9:30, somewhere around there. So 6 hours that they were with someone else in little pens and cages, whatever, was not easy. But when they came out, man, they looked so drunk. They really did. Don't know what the speed limit is. They really did look drunk. I've only seen Koa like that once before, and that was after I took him to the vet for them to look at him after he had been attacked. He had been attacked, and he had that big hole up by his shoulder and things like that. So I took him up to the vet for care, and of course they had to sedate him while they cleaned up the wound and whatnot. So I was cool, I was pretty cool picking them up, and they look they look so cute. I actually got to talk to my mother yesterday, sort of. She has to buy internet time per however much she uses. The guy that she's supposed to move into the apartment, he was supposed to be evicted, and she's supposed to move in. He refuses to leave, and now there's this whole court thing they gotta go through, and I just kind of shook my head because I told my mother earlier, Mom, you may just want to pay for your internet because if things, happen, go wrong, no, it'll be fine. Yeah, well, it's not fine, is it? Now, I want to speak about dog abandonment for a moment while my mind's on the subject. How do you do that? How do you have a dog and the dog looks well taken care of? The dog looked happy. Well, that's not quite what I meant. He looked healthy. He looked like he was in a good environment. He looked, he didn't look thin. He didn't look flea-ridden or riddled with wounds or neglected. That's what I'm more meant by happy, that he was, looked like he had a pretty decent owner. So how do you just up and leave your dog like that? I couldn't dream of abandoning my dogs. Hell, dropping my dogs off to get fixed with a veterinarian was difficult for me. How do you do that? How do you just abandon your dog? Makes no sense. interesting thing that's been happening is the personality changes that have happened to my dogs over the past couple days since getting fixed. Koa, although he showed an interest in checking to see if Bella ever came into heat, uh, hang on a sec. Lay down! They're like stepping all over my feet right now. Sorry about that. So, he showed no interest in her, you know, he checked if she was in heat. He'd play with her here and there, but for the most part, he was content to roll up in his bed and just, you know, nap away until it was time to go outside. Well, not so much now. Now he tries to mount her constantly. And I'm like really fucking confused. I knew that getting him fixed wouldn't really take away the sexual urges for a dog. That's not quite how it works. But, seriously? I did not. Look, he's still going. He's fine. Or did I crash into one on the... Man, I don't know. Screw you. But just the fact that that's, you know, that's all he wants right now. And if it's not her, then he's humping his bed. And I am really confused. It's like, why the insane increase all of a sudden, you know? And Bella, she didn't do it today, but for the past few days, up till today, she would sit on my bed behind me and just whine at me and whine and whine and whine and whine and whine and whine until I'd pay her attention. All she's wanted for the past few days is for me to hold her, to sleep in my arms. That's it. You know, she was happy to chase her tail, play with her toys, play with Koa, kick back and relax and sleep when it was hot. And now all she wants to do is just be in my arms. And I don't get the attitude changes that come with the fact that they got fixed. Nobody said anything like this would happen. So I actually contacted the vet and asked them to call me, but they never did. But things have seemed to mellow out a little bit. Koa doesn't try as often now, but he still tries. I still have to scold him off. The hard part after getting them fixed is preventing them from doing what they're not supposed to do. Not supposed to run, not supposed to roughhouse. Yeah. The one thing that Bella likes to do more than anything else is roughhouse and run. Well, it's two things. Whatever. But it's true. She loves to roughhouse. She loves to run. And preventing her from doing that is nigh on impossible. So I'm just very, you know, I try to be very cautious of her, and I'm checking their stitches. I don't have to go back and get their stitches out. Their stitches are supposed to be self-absorbing. So that's good. Just I hope nothing goes wrong. It takes, they say, 14 days. And, you know, it was done on Saturday, and so it's only been 2, you know, going on 3. I still get 11 more days to go. It's not easy, man, let me tell you. It's not easy. You probably tell my commentary is a little bit more off than normal, and it may be the fact that I haven't eaten yet. You know, I haven't eaten, I'm on metformin. soups. That's rather a dangerous combination, as my sugar can be a little low if I do that. So I haven't taken my next dose of metformin yet. I really don't have to until 9 o'clock. But I didn't eat lunch either. For lunch, I just I ate something for lunch, but I didn't eat an actual lunch. For lunch, I just cracked open a can of peas. That was it. I didn't feel like making anything else. I didn't want anything else. I just cracked open a can of peas, ate that, and said, screw it, that's good enough. Okay, okay. So that was a little too hard. But we handled it. We're all good. I had a yogurt. I didn't have my yogurt for breakfast as I usually do, so I had a yogurt for a snack. For breakfast, I had Portuguese sausage soup that was left over. There was a little bit of that with a couple red potatoes. That was breakfast. That's all I've eaten today so far. So, yeah, I'm a little bit off right now. I am going to try and bring you at least one sorry, I was paying attention to cameras and speed limits. I am going to try and bring you at least one World of Warships gameplay video soon. In World of Warships, the patch notes have been released for 0.4.1 with balances and changes. I'm considering going over that, at least a little bit. And what I want to do, you know how I did a video for the first 4 tiers? It was rather long, a little bit biased, and not very well thought out. Well, I want to change that up, and I want to do for World of Warships like I did for picking your own truck. I want to go and I want to break down each tier individually. The only thing is I would do tier 1 and tier 2 together because they're very small tiers. There's not a lot to say about them. Jeez, why are we going so slow? Still got to clean my computer too. I haven't done it in over a month, and that's really, really horrible for me. But I'd do tier 1 and tier 2 together, then I'd do a video for tier 3, a video for tier 4, and a video for tier 5. Because tier 5 is not a difficult tier to get into. Tier 6 is where it really gets horrid. So, I've been considering doing that. I'm not sure that I will, but I'd like to. Especially since a lot of changes are happening to the game. A lot of ships are getting new hulls. A lot of destroyers are getting a... You know what, dude? Whose side of the road are you on? You take a good look, dude, and tell me that was my fault. You were over my line. Even though my trailer was over yours, so go screw yourself. Sorry. I'm more into what I'm talking about today than anything else, so I am going to screw up like that. not trying to. So, anyways, destroyers are getting, well, there's various buffs and nerfs, but they're getting something very important which will help at lower levels, known as the defensive fire cooldown. This really helps versus like aircraft carriers and their planes. So that's kind of a big deal. And some cruisers are getting switched, and there's all kinds of actually good stuff going on. And then there's other, things that are getting nerfed, like the poor Minakaze that's basically getting turned into a worse version of the Izukaze. If you remember the video, the Minakaze was, it had horrible, horrible, horrible guns. Or did I go over the Minakaze? Is that the tier 5? That may be the tier 5 destroyer. I don't think so though, but anyways, it has horrible guns. It's another destroyer with 45 second degree turning guns. It's real bad. But to make up for it, it had torpedoes that could launch beyond 10 kilometers, and it couldn't be spotted until you got within about 5.6 or 5.7 kilometers of it. So you could remain outside of sight range of ships and continuously harass them with torpedoes. This was balanced by the fact that the torpedoes from the Minakaze were slow. They only moved at 52 knots, which is fairly slow. So they actually became easier to avoid, and at long range, they were actually very difficult to target. Because in the time it took at long range for the torpedoes to reach their target, your target's probably moved. He's probably turned, he's varied his speed, which means the torpedoes that you launched are going to miss. Well, those torpedoes are getting taken away. And they're only gonna have 7-kilometer torpedoes, which is the same as the Izukaze. It's also going to be detected sooner at about 6 kilometers, which is about the same as the Izukaze. And it has crappier guns. Yeah. Pretty sick indeed. What do you say? Oh, look, we're here. Wow. We covered that distance pretty quick. But the guns are getting buffed at least. Their traverse speed's getting buffed. I think their rate of fire is getting buffed. So, it's decent enough, I suppose. But still sucks, if I'm to be honest with you. And the real stupid thing about people complaining about how broken and OP the Minakaze was, the destroyer after it has torpedoes that launch at 10 kilometers, and it can't be detected till about 6 kilometers. So that's still a 4-kilometer range that it has where it won't be detected. It's just a 1-tier difference. I don't know. Oh, excellent. Wow, I thought we damaged the trailer. But nope. Nope, we did not. Alright, let's go find a place to rest. Wow, we covered that distance really fast and really well. That was a 700-kilometer run. Looks like there's a rest spot up here. Hopefully there's a garage. me take a look at the map. See where the local garage is. Oh, you're kidding me. There isn't one. Except for way the fuck back here. Fine then. Fine. So we're going to find a new trailer. And this video is going to go on a little bit longer because we are going to go there for our thing. Well, I can actually set my waypoints somehow, can't I? That's kind of the whole thing, so... Yeah. Five. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go all the way back. Awesome. I never thought I'd put that ability to use, just to be straight with you, but apparently I have. Dude, you gotta let me out. So the good thing about this is you're supposed to be able to dictate your own route. Which, you know, sometimes I question the GPS about the most efficient route, because it just doesn't feel like it. I look at the map and see a route that looks more efficient, you know, but... It's also could be good if you want to, like... If you're looking to, like... Hey, you who came out of nowhere. Man, I don't know what's going on with me today. 3 accidents in one video? What the hell's wrong with me? I know what's wrong with me. I feel very low energy right now because on top of everything else, I did my weed eating, you know, as usual today. What the hell are you doing in that lane anyways? Did my weed eating today, and I didn't do as much as I usually do, but dude, seriously? I didn't do as much as I usually do, but I still did quite a lot. And well, needless to say, I knew that bastard wasn't going to stop. He should have stopped as I was moving over, and he just didn't. At least I avoided 1 and I didn't make it 4, you know, 3rd time's a fucking charm, I guess. Oh, could we not roll forward? Is that possible? Thank you. So, yeah, I'm just really low energy right now. That's why I'm having a more difficult time concentrating and keeping focus than normal. I mean, I know my commentaries can be sporadic, my talkings and whatnot, and I lose my train of thought a lot, but I really feel it today. I really feel the lack of energy. I really feel the lack of um, just being able to concentrate it. It's more difficult. I'm missing some pretty obvious stuff. So, yeah, we're pretty badly beat up. We didn't get a new engine or anything, did we? I mean, I know we haven't. Yeah, look at this. Gigaspace. Chassis. That's still the tailgate. Engine. 510 horsepower. Exclusive. And this would be most of my money. You know what? Yeah, just remove that. Oh, that's fine. Oh. It puts that down there, but you can't put lights on it. You know what? Let's just cancel this. Because I'm obviously not going to be able to do everything. But I want the Gigaspace. And I want the new motor. And I'm just going to confirm that and leave it. And I'll get the executive and check the other stuff on the next one. Because I got to re-go to the paint shop and re-put on my paint job. Which is another 20,000. Ah! I don't have enough money. Shit, you're kidding me. Well, you know what? It's okay. We'll get it next time. We may be able to get it this time after we get some rest. Oh, great. Samuel couldn't find a job. Do that again, Samuel. You're fired. All right, so we'll just have to go with a base white truck until I make the money for it. Like I said, we'll do it next time. So let's see what our quick job, you idiot. Job market, rate market. Yeah, here. Office container. That's a 1 day run. That does go to somewhere we haven't been. Oil filters. That may be the only way to reach that place, so that's a very viable trailer. Yeah, we just got a lot of box trailers. Where does this go? There. Well, apparently there's something there as well. So either one of those trailers could actually be pretty decent. And the land distance is just over 1,000 kilometers for that one and that one. So we'll probably take one of these. I'll just have to flip a coin. I don't want to make that decision right now. Like I said, I'm really kind of out of it right now. Oh, we don't have our top lights either. We only have our front lights. Hooray! So that's something we got to fix after as well. Eh. All right, folks. I apologize that my commentary is a little over the place. Like I said, I got emotional. I haven't eaten. I've barely eaten today. Even diet-wise, I haven't eaten much today. Um, so my energy's low, and I can feel that I'm really freaking hungry. So as late as it is, I am just going to go to McDonald's. But diet, I am keeping it healthy. I'm going to get chicken. Probably a salad, honestly. I'll probably just get a salad. But We'll see. Anyways, before I babble on to 100 hours from now, that's going to be me done for this episode, folks. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've been enjoying bringing it to you. Until